Once I get this free and I bring it over to keep him down while I trade this off here. Either way, this is what I wanted. I wanted to go from here to here. Now, from here, I shrimp out and I grab his head. All right. So lapel attack is always fun. That's why we practice with gis, because we're using clothing as weapons. Grips. It changes the game tremendously. These mimic clothing. No gi mimics minimal clothing or no clothing. So in a gi, we should use the gi to our advantage. And today we're going to. We're going to show this crazy cool little useful lapel technique and how we can set it up not only to control our opponent well, but actually finish him well. Okay? So from here, a normal choke starts with me doing a cross collar. I insert my opposite arm up in, and it's this part of my wrist that's doing most of the work just behind the earlobe and underneath where it reaches into this valley between the sternocleidomastoid muscle and the trachea, which is right where the carotid artery lies. That's why we want this thumb protrusion to kind of fit in that spot. You see? It's almost like it's meant for it. It's beautiful. But somebody like Kevin, as soon as I start to do this, he's aware and may block my ability. Yeah, good for him. But I still need to break his posture down. But holding a person's posture like this without grips takes more energy. That doesn't mean that we can't learn how to do it energy efficient, using closed guard, using big macro framing movements, holding the head, but it takes more energy than if I could use grips. So I'm gonna make a grip. And I'm gonna make that grip by loosening the lapel. So look at, I'm controlling his posture with this arm while I open my legs. Now once I have this, my hope is that I'm setting off alarms in his head that I'm in trouble if he uses my lapel. Something bad is going to happen. But my biggest thing is just to pull this out, drape it over, switch hands. Notice the connection? At no point should Kevin really feel free to posture up, because that's his escape. So from this position here, once I get this free and I bring it over, this becomes my holder to keep him down while I trade this off here. Now I move him away and I switch this here. Palm side up. Does it look familiar to the cross collar? But at this point, I don't need to work on a choke. This is a superior posture holder at this point. Even if that's all I got. Even if he was really good at blocking this arm. This is a really strong, leveraged, enhanced posture holder. Very hard for him to posture up from here. I'm pulling in, he's having to use hips and everything else to push away. The finish, though we're gonna stop here and practice at this, is that I'm gonna open up and I'm gonna shrimp out and reclose my guard. Now, this seems to be the most common setup for me to grab this material here and then go underneath the chin, come back, and finish with a cross collar choke. But oftentimes, either I can't get a good grip here or they're on their game and they're blocking. Maybe they got their arm up here and they just keep fussing with me and they won't let me have that. I'm gonna actually do something different. I'm gonna bait him. I'm actually gonna play dumb and reach for here. What would you do? You would either do that, maybe use the other arm. Yeah. Either way, This is what I wanted anyway. Either way, this is what I wanted. I wanted to go from here to here to do this. Now, from here, I shrimp out and I grab his head and I just pull. I pull his head down and in. I pull this tight and I do a little squeeze and crunch. The shoulder and his collar, as you can see how this is pushing in? This closes this side, while this lapel hold with my thumb and my wrist closes the other side. What I love about that is there's no more fussing with this second grip. You don't need it. You're just able to actually turn, grab the whole head, and suck them in the rest of the way. It's like an arm-in triangle. It's virtually the same principle as the arm-in triangle, which is beautiful. So we've already talked about this whole concept of holding, taking slack out, transfer of power from one side to the other. From here, you can choose to dig and punch and whatever. I choose not to. I choose to wait for some timing and wait for them to start their pullback to try to escape, and then I'll assist them, which is just about the time I then lay that lapel right into that hand. Once this is here, I can cinch this up. Your hair's stuck. You doing okay? Yeah, we're good. So once that's here, this is good. I can still hold the head. Now is when I switch here. I start to attack. That gives me this hand, which I draw across, and I bring it and trap it, slide out, pulling everything in. This shoulder pushes against this rigid collar into the left carotid, while the lapel, my thumb, and my wrist are occluding the right carotid. We were talking as we were practicing this whole thing doesn't even look much like a choke. So this looks like a choke, but once I bring this arm across, making it sort of like an arm-in triangle, it's the consequence of an arm stuck that's finishing this. The fact that his arm is there. This head grab and pull is what's backstopping this arm from coming out. If I don't hold that, he's gonna pull that out, which is smart. He should. But if I can jam this through and then reach here and pull him in, pull it out now. It's backstopped. So now all I have to do is pull everything in, which drives the shoulder in, drives my cross sleeve, wrist in to a blood choke. It's really a beautiful move.